Hi, it's Jon Cronshaw here with my author diary for the week ending October the 15th, 2023. I've had a busy week. I have been working on a few different things. So I mentioned last week that I thought I would be getting to the end of Guild of Assassins. So yes, I have done that. I have written the closing chapter for that, which will set up the next book. So my attempt at a standalone failed miserably. I think it is going to be a trilogy by the look of it. At least a duology, but more likely a trilogy because I've got loads of ideas for where the story is going. So yeah, I've been working on a bit of an outline for the second book. It's still in the kind of very early stages. So I've got basically bullet points. And I think what I'm going to do is the same as what I did with the first book, is it will be Substack first as I'm writing it, and then, repackage it later on. What is it? I know that at this very moment, my Ravenglass Legends book one, The Fall of Wolfsbane, is being proofread, ready for its release. So I think next week I will get it back in the next week. So I will start doing things like doing call out for an ARC team. I do have readers who have reviewed probably all of my books. I've had an ARC team for a while, and I will be recruiting to kind of top that up a bit. So yeah, that should be good if you're on my mailing list, or if you're in the Ravenglass Universe Facebook group, then you'll see a call out for those probably the end of next week. What else? Yeah, I wrote a short story this week. Because what I've been doing is I've been going through loads of short stories. I wrote loads of short stories years ago, and I have been going through them, picking the best ones to turn into audio things for YouTube. So I've done quite a few of them, and I came across one which I wrote for a steampunk festival many years ago. I think it was probably 5 years ago, something like that. And I have written a follow-up story to that. So that was a bit of fun. Didn't expect to do that, but that is how I spent my Monday, writing that story, getting it edited, and then doing the audio for it. So it will be getting a proper edit, like a professional edit, and then what I'll do is I'll probably post that on Substack in the coming weeks. In the meantime, though, I am kind of thinking about what to do next, because I think for the first time in a while, I've got the potential to do NaNoWriMo, which is kind of meaningless because I'm writing all the time and I don't really need much motivation to get a novel written. But I don't know, focusing on one book for a month could be cool. Might not work for me. I don't know. I think I've done one successful NaNoWriMo. I think one failed because I don't know. I just couldn't get my head into it for some reason. So who knows? I've also got a book launch to prepare because I think I'm going to launch this Fall of Wolfsbane next month, early next month probably. Want to get that out as soon as possible. Really beat the December Christmas rush. Really, if I can have it kind of established over the Christmas holidays, that would be perfect. So yeah, a few things. Because I looked at my hard drive, what I've got, what I've written. I do have, what is it? I've got first draft, most of the second draft done of Ragnar's arc in the second, Ravenglass Legends book. I've got most of Maya's arc done for that book as a first draft. So I might be working on that one. I've also got, Assassins book 4. I've got Crucible. Dawn of Assassins book 4 to write. I have got Guild of Assassins 2, and also the Punks versus Zombie stuff. So it might be that I end up just getting ahead of myself with the Punks versus Zombie stuff, and then doing a launch. But I don't know, because I've also got other projects that I am excited about. I mentioned like a space opera thing that I started writing. Didn't get that far with that, but that is still in the back of my mind. There's also another cool kind of young adult fantasy one that I really want to write, but there's just not enough time, is there? Not enough time in the world to write all these projects. So I'm just going to do what I can anyway. I think commercial-wise, I think getting the fourth Assassin's book done and the Ravenloft Ledgers book done are kind of a priority, really. I have got self-imposed deadlines with the Punks versus Zombies thing, in the sense that I want to do those as weekly episodes, and each one of those is about 2,000 to 3,000 words. So it's a day's work to get those out. So I don't mind doing that as wacky tie project on a Monday, and then focusing the rest of the week on a particular novel. I've also been doing Indie Author Mastermind posts as well. I've been coming up with a few of those. So I think I mentioned before that I've got enough posts now until early next year. So yeah, I've been enjoying kind of putting my years of hard-earned wisdom, let's say, on being an indie author, making a full-time living sustainably, putting those things down and putting them up on the Substack. And it is indieauthormastermind.com. So if you're an author, you're watching this, and I do get a few authors watching or listening to this, check it out. So in terms of reading, I read a book called Preparing for War, which was about the history of white Christian nationalism in America. So that was fun and exciting, I'm sure you'll agree. I'm also reading one now called They Knew, which is about conspiracies and cover-ups. But it's not about conspiracy theories, it's about the kind of conspiracies that are in the public domain that we are aware of and that don't necessarily get the coverage that they necessarily deserve. So yeah, it's a really interesting book, actually. It's not in the wacky conspiracy realm. It is like investigative journalism. Someone who knows what they're doing. So yeah, really good. And I have to say, the writer is a great storyteller. Really well done, and you just get this sense of outrage and moral indignation running through, which I think is quite powerful. So yeah, I think I mentioned, next week I'll be doing more of these, getting stuff audio ready. I think I might redo the Addict of the Wasteland one, because it was like the first one that I did, and I wasn't aware of 11 Labs settings in terms of making it not say monotone and making it less robotic. So yeah, the ones I've done this week, I mean, if you listen, the stories As the Gravity Flipped and Basilisk on a Yellow Field, these stories, the narration on that is just tremendous. And, it's text to speech, and it honestly, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know it was a computer voice. So yeah, I'm really pleased with those. I think that they're the best ones so far. So check those out anyway on my YouTube. I'm trying to get to 1,000 YouTube followers, and it's a lot harder work than I thought it'd be. I've been asking people on my mailing list. I've got 9,000 odd people on my mailing list, and I'm still struggling to get over 400 subscribers. I mean, I started off about a month ago when I thought, I'm going to get subscribers. I was on 200 followers on YouTube. I'm now on 360 something. So, it is growing, which is good. But I do want to reach that 1,000 mark, because then I can monetize the channel, and it'll make it hopefully pay back, pay for these audio things that I'm getting done, because, they're not cheap. Cheaper than getting a real narrator, but still, having to shell out for stuff that isn't necessarily returning right away always makes me a bit nervous. But yeah, it's fine. It'll build up, and it's reaching new readers. So I just need to remind myself of that. So I don't know if I mentioned it before, but also started doing Punks versus Zombies as a podcast. So there is there's the Substack version, which gets it first. So you'll get the text first of that. And then I think a week later, it goes onto YouTube as an audio. And then a few days later, it goes as a podcast. So yeah, check that out. Just find it wherever you listen to podcasts. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, or whatever, Apple Podcasts, or whatever it's called now. So you should be able to find it on there. So just look for Punks versus Zombies and have a listen. So until next time, cheerio.